Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Firas, and today I will start a new playlist or a new actual elementary course. I'm gonna call it AutoCAD Basics, and I'm gonna start this one because I already start teaching CAD 1 in Ajman University, and I'm trying to do this set of videos as a playlist here in my channel to talk about the basics in AutoCAD. And it's also for everyone else who really interested in basic information in AutoCAD, specifically 2D AutoCAD. So as we might all know, AutoCAD is one of the computer-aided design application, and it goes really far away in I think in 1960s or late 1960s to be discovered. And Autodesk, I think, produced the first AutoCAD in I think around 1980s, and it's called AutoCAD. Not just a lot of people tell me it's automatic. It's not auto. It's auto here as the name. It's Autodesk, and then CAD, computer-aided design, and you will find lots of other companies produce CAD application, which is also been used in the industry. But again, Autodesk AutoCAD is one of the most famous and most usable application in the industry. So starting with this, AutoCAD can actually do 2D drawing and design and documentation, and also it's actually able to do 3D work or 3D documentation and 3D design. It's able to apply some basic material and some lighting and rendering. But actually in the university that I teach, in Ajman University, we focus on AutoCAD 2D, and rather the 3D part we don't use 3D AutoCAD, rather we use 3D Studio Max and Revit and other applications. So that's why we focused in this basics, AutoCAD Basics 2D, actually we're focusing on 2D drawing only, and 2D way of using AutoCAD and some modification and some other tools to help you to start up from scratch, no knowledge you have, till you manage to draw a basic set of drawing that contain elevation, sections, and plan, and so on. So probably by now you have to have or you must at least understand the differences between having hand drawing and between AutoCAD or digital drawing. It's a painful process in hand drawing, lots of mistake, actually dirty, not really 100% accurate. Rather in AutoCAD it's clean, and it's you can change that whenever you want, and really easier to be changed if we compare it to the editing or changing or modification on a drawing board. Anyway, so let's go ahead and have a look at AutoCAD, and that's the main interface. That's the startup interface of it, and it actually show you lots of differences. The previous lots of options, sorry, and it's allow you another options to start up previous work that you had. This guy here, the big red A, it's called the application menu. So if you hit this on A, and you can see that you can go ahead and have a new file or open a previous work, or just have a look at the side, which is another options to you can navigate through. Anyway, I'll go new here, and let's have a look. The first template going is this AutoCAD or Acad.iso. I'll go Acad.iso. It's more metric system, and then you hit open. So that's very fair and easy. If you don't have this property pop up, just write PR, and then hit enter, and you're gonna get this property panel activated for you. You can just drag it and put it on the side. This is, again, that's the AutoCAD interface. And the first thing about to talk about AutoCAD, after we learn how to open a file in it, actually a new file, is to talk about the user interface. And as you know, that's the top part here. It have lots of options, and basically opening a new file, opening a previously made file, save, and then save as, and printing, undo, and redo. And those, on the other side, you have the information center showing you the the username, and if you want to pop up a question or ask for it, either in the help here available AutoCAD itself, or let's ask to any kind of command and go search for it online. In the middle, usually it's give you the product version and the name of the drawing, which is a default drawing 1.dwg. That's been said. we can see that again, Autodesk, like lots of applications and Windows applications, actually adapting something called ribbon, which is this bar here. That size, the top side of the drawing, we call it ribbon, and it have those, you know, like we call them tabs. So whenever you click each tab, it's gonna load or show you different, you know, commands accumulated or collected in them. So it will ease the process of looking for commands by categorizing them in the same way they work or the same function they do. So if I go to home, for example, you're gonna have this, also this part of the ribbon, and we call this panel. So this is the draw panel, and you might need to have a look. Some panel are having all been shortcutted or reduced because the lack of the space. Some of them doesn't have this triangle, and some of them have this small triangle. So this small triangle, just to indicate that this is an expandable panel. So if you hit on it or you click on it, you're going to see more command belong to the drawing process. Same thing for the layers, as you can see. Whenever you click outside, it's going to disappear. And inside the panel itself, the draw panel, you can see the line command and the polyline command and so on. So again, home tab, draw panel, and then the line command. It's really a good way to understand that, because lots of books are actually describing the commands for you by saying those three sequence of, you know, three sequence of words extra, like home tab, then draw panel, and then the line command, to tell you or to guide you where to go, which tab you go. So manage tab, action record, and then record, and so on. There is another way to activate command, actually lots of ways to activate commands, just like, for example, instead of clicking that, you can go hit LI and E straight on the keyboard, and you notice that it's immediately going to pop up near the cursor. And when you hit enter, it's going to show you that, or actually going to activate the line command for you. And you can go ahead and draw with a couple of click, and when you hit escape twice, it's going to cut the command. Or just the shortcut like L space, and again, you're going to start drawing things, you know, and then escape to cut it. I prefer twice to be, you know, pressing on escape. Some commands require that. Some of them require just one, so I don't want to bother to remember which is which, so I just hit escape twice usually to cancel the command or to end it. Now, that's been said, that's the way we have, you know, the option bar here, the top bar here, and the ribbon here and there. It's actual component. One of the issues that I always notice my you know, student fall in, especially in the exam, or the lack, when they actually express the lack of, you know, experience with this software. Lots of beginners have the same issue, which is, you know, accidentally pressing on this, you know, minimizing. And when you press on that, or someone else working on this laptop or desktop actually press it, and you come and you see, you know, like you get freaked out because that's been changed. And still now it's less thing to be worried about. But if the previous guy just pressed that twice, probably all those will go on, and another time even the options is almost everything. Some people do that sometimes by, you know, not knowing what to do, is by accident, or they are really professional and they want the bigger size of the screen to be, you know, shown. So again, to fix this, just be patient and keep pressing on this. So try to remember this guy here. It's really small and really important. So pressing that will change, you know, the way ribbon said. And if you are a ribbon guy who actually depend on accessing each and every single command, it will be a big issue if you don't know the existence of this guy. Now, you can tell that AutoCAD can open more than one file, because each time you press on here and create a new drawing, you can have like 5 or 6 or whatever you want of files open in the same AutoCAD, and that makes AutoCAD really powerful, because you can take copy paste from one file to another one. Now, again, it's been said on this side, that's the property panel here, and in the property panel I can see that, you know, if it's not selected, so it will be for the default value for everything before it will be selected, and I'm going to explain that in detail. And if you select something, it's going to show you what color it is, which layer it's belong, and the line type, and all the information, starting point, ending point. It depends on the physical property of the object itself. And again, try to explain that for you later on. Again, that's inside the view. here, that's the viewport or where you work, and you can, you know, click the middle mouse button to navigate or pan. You can zoom in by pushing the scroll upward, and you zoom out by pushing it downward. And that's really an important thing to be done and to master actually. And if you hit double click, it's gonna make zoom extend for you. That will make everything in the drawing as big as the size of the screen. So also it's a good idea to put the mouse to the place where you want to, you know, go to, and then zoom in. So if I go and zoom out, I can put the mouse on the geometry and then push it upward to zoom toward it, because I know some people do like that and then do not like panning. It's really a painful process to be done. So if you have such a case, put the mouse on it, you know, you want to see what is it, and then push it upward. It's a good idea to go toward that object straight forward while zooming. That's the view cube. I'll leave that now for the moment. Usually I don't use it because we are not dealing with a 3D navigation process, because as we said, it's dealing with the 2D things, but always try to make sure that it's on the top so you don't flip or go look at elevations for this top of view. As we can see, the lower part here have the option bars. This actually show you the model or the layout. So always keep it to the model. It's the cyberspace, it's imaginary space, digital space that goes infinity in X and Y and Z. You have to draw on this one all the time. And if you go to layout, for example, it's just a piece of paper that have a viewport here or a window that actually allow you to see what you've drawn here inside in the model. So you see whatever inside this guy, the rectangle one, is actually what you see in the model, what you've done in the model. And you shouldn't draw on that unless you are really knowing what to do. That's usually drawing for the layout. So if I draw this line, or let me just delete it to draw something different. So if I draw a circle here, this circle is only shown in this layout, in this specific layout. If you go back to model, it's nothing. So you should be aware any geometrical design lines should goes and drawn to the model, and you shouldn't draw anything in the layout unless it's a title block or something. Okay. And I saw lots of people draw in the layout everything, and it's really wrong. And you can make as much as layout as you want, and each one of them will look at a specific view or part of the work, and they can all look to the same drawing but with a different scale or different setting of layout or a different layer to be on and off and so on. So this is represent actually just a piece of paper that you actually prepared for you with a size and scale to ready your work to be printed. Rather, this guy is just a crude basic way of, you know, a cyberspace that's ready for you to work in it. Anyway, that's the command line. Keep it, and you might write anything in it, and you see it's previous text. You can activate any command from here. So if I hit L space, you can see that AutoCAD actually communicating with us through that guy. So like it tell you now you have line, and it's seen as a capital letter here, seen that you know the command is line, and then it communicate with you. So it's, in the beginning, it's good idea to put your eyes on it. So it's saying specify first point, so it's want you to give the first point. It's the same thing here near the cursor, so specify first point, so click, and again it tells you specify the next point, and the same thing in the command line, giving you the option with you to undo this thing, you know. So I'm gonna go like this, and again next, and again next. You see this down, it's specifying next point. And now look, if you look down, it's telling you close or undo. So you can hit C, you can hit U, for example, it's the bluish first letter of undo to cancel the last line, or you can go C space. Of course, everything I press with should be followed by space, which is, or enter, which is, you know, like telling AutoCAD to do it, you know, like I choose C and then space, do it, you know, like it's gonna close, as you can see, the geometry or the drawing that I was trying to show you. What else? Those commands here, I'm gonna again get in details with the grid, snapping, and other options that we have. Again, what else? Oh, top part I explained. Yeah, so that's basically it with the interface. And in the interface, as you can see, it's fair and easy. It's self-explanatory actually. Just try to be patient, and you're gonna, you know, like knows most of those commands in this course, specifically what's related to basic 2D drawings. Now, the other aspect to talk about is, like how we can manage the drawing, or how we can draw a very basic thing. And again, just by a command line. So for the first lecture ever for this week, or for this day actually, I'm going to talk about one or two commands, which is circle and line, and even those I'm not going to go in really detail in them. So just line is, as I said, you can take it from here, or you can just write L and then hit space. And as I said, it's first point and end point. So again, it's gonna work loosely, like it's tell you roughly the angle. You can say 17, 12, and the length of it. And if you like this angle like 21, you can go like I don't know how much, let's say 3,000 something, Then draw the line straight forward with a 3,000 unit and with a 21 angle from this side. It's a good way of dealing now with it, to use Ortho, which is you hit F8, and I think I need to hit F8 with the function button in my keyboard. Yep, that's right. So now you can see that I have F8, which is Ortho. So everything I'm gonna draw is either 90 degree, 0 degree, minus 90, or 270, and so on. So it's good to make this orthopedic lines, or straight vertical and horizontal lines only, and 90% of our work will goes for this, guys. Usually the buildings and the sites and everything, it just goes like as perpendicular as possible. So usually we do this anyway. So if I cut the command by escape and repeat it, the Ortho is like a toggle system. So when you turn it on, it can keep on for the rest of the command. So I can go and like draw that way, and then go down, and then like go this, and then go perpendicular. See the perpendicular, it's not really a perpendicular case. We should depend on more on and having more option to be activating this anyway. And again, I'm gonna close that, and I know it's not a perpendicular, I know. Basically, that's how we deal with orthopedic thing, and F8 will be your best friend. If you have a laptop, I think you have to press the bluish FN or function key on the lower left side. If you have a keyboard on a desktop, I think just F8 will enough. So function and F8 if you have a laptop. I don't know why those new settings in laptops, if you want to press F8, you have to press function with it. So be aware of this. So function and F8 to activate that command, which is Ortho. And if you have just a keyboard, just F8, that's all. And it's going to allow you, as you see, to draw perpendicular things. Now if I want to use more specific units in the drawing process, so I can go L space or L enter. I'll put the first click, put my hand to the right, and you can immediately see with Ortho it's telling me it's locked on 0. Even if I push it a little bit up or down, it's locked on 0. While the bluish bluish text, you see it's gonna ask me to give the number. So I'll say it's 5,000 that way, and I hit enter or space, and I push it just down and say, let's say 5,000 that way, and then that way 5,000, and I go up, or just hit C space to close to get your first rectangle ever made correctly. That's basically it. That's how we draw, how to deal basically with lines. More commands again I will give in the next lecture. I'll just make this one as quick as possible. Circle here, for example, it just need to center it. So first click, and again read, it's telling you it's to specify the center. So that's the center, and now it's just gonna ask you for the radius. So you can just go ahead 2,000. So it will be the radius of 2,000 of the overall diameter of a 4,000 units. Again, circle, center, okay, like I'm gonna snap to the center of that, and then you say 1,000 and so on. Beautiful. Now let's have some example. So I'll go to here to this PDF that I prepared, and let's try to do those things. Like we have a circle with the lines here, and the radius is 100, so that's mean from this point to this point 100. So the overall is 200 for the lines, and they are intersected in the middle. The default setting again is to have the snapping on, so don't worry about that. So 100 up, oops, very small, zoom in, it's okay. And then line 100 that way. And if you notice that escape, when I hit L space and I try to zoom in, the mouse will snap and this show rectangle thing, you see. That means it will start from the endpoint of those lines, which is good. Click and then move your hand to the other way. Don't forget the Ortho or F8, and then give it another 100 and hit space or enter. Escape to cancel. Again, I can go and hit L space again, but now AutoCAD have the ability to remember the last command, which is line. So all you have to do is to hit space, and that makes it easier for you. And you can start from the end again, and then you go downward and hit 100, and that's it. Hit escape. Now circle again. I'm gonna snap to the end, and then you just can write 100 if you want, and you get your first shape done. Really easy. Just try to be patient with the idea of snapping to the end or to the mid of the lines, so you can depend on them in drawing. Another shape is this 200 100 L shape, which is again fair and easy. Always try to understand when you draw things in AutoCAD is to see what dimension is actually available for you. So common sense, I'm going to start from here because I don't have this guy or this guy, so it's not a good idea to start from here. You can start from here or here. I'll go here 100 and then 200 and then 200, down 100. So then you do the thing is like this is a 100 from 200, so this is 100, and the same thing back in here. But the point always is start from the dimension or the length you have, or that way you go up, left, down, right, and then do the math to know to do whatever you want. Because you can just draw a line that way, and then you draw the line that way without knowing the dimension, then you cut the extra thing to get that, even if you couldn't manage to find this number and this number. Anyway, so back to this guy, and again L space or line, and I'm gonna stand here and push my hand to the left and 100, and then to the top 200, 200, 100, and then 100, and then I go down, or just C space to close the geometry. That's the second shape. As simple as that. What else? 100 by 100, again 100 by 200, that's fair and easy. So again, line, L space, up 200, 100, 200, and then close. Okay, I'll leave those for you. They are basically the same. Probably we do this one as the last one, and it's a 300 that way, 100, and then 100, then 100, 100, 100, 100. It's just very really easy. So let's do that. So L space, put it and move your hand to the right, 300, and then down 100. Always give the direction like this, and then give the number, direction, and then the number, direction, and then the number, and then close. So that's it, guys. It's really the basics of AutoCAD 2D. I would advise you to go ahead and freeze that video and have a go with each one of those. Try to see how it works and how it can be drawn in your laptops, and see that's you need a little bit to be patient, especially to deal with the snapping. I'm going to explain the snapping for you that I use in here in further detail in the next lecture. So that's it about the introduction unit and the basic information that you need to start up your first lines and circles in AutoCAD. I wish that you find this video useful. Thank you very much and have a good day.